Welcome to this latest edition of the Ril Dil Podcast on this 22nd of August 2019. I'm, of course, your host, Cyril Gerald Quinn, discussing the world of sports and pop culture. As always, this podcast is streaming live on my YouTube channel. Check it out on Blog Talk Radio as well. Sometime it's kind of late right now. Try to get in probably late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Definitely by tomorrow morning. So maybe 1, 2 ish. For my Blog Talk Radio audience, Stitcher, iTunes, we're all over the place. Spotify, FM.com. First of all, I gotta apologize for this late broadcast. As far as normally I do shows on Monday. I was gonna do a show on Tuesday, but I'll tell that story later on in the podcast. It was funny and scary at the same time on why I didn't do the podcast Monday. A lot to talk about in this program, this podcast. A lot going on in the world of sports and pop culture. I'm going to begin though with a topic that I just can't get out of my mind right now. It's one of very few topics in our 24-hour news cycle that you feel like when you talk about something that's a hotbed, a hot topic, your last 24 hours, 48 hours, normally 72 hours is kind of like the max. But in regards to the Jay-Z NFL deal, it's been something. It's a week old right now. So today's Thursday. So this, in essence, this deal was made, I think, last Thursday. I feel the same way then as I do now, with all the information, with hearing the press conference, with everybody's reaction. And as a black man, as somebody who understands the struggles of being black, but wouldn't rather be any other color. I love it, despite all the racism and racial injustices and everything that we have to deal with, especially as black men. It really hurts my heart to see or to hear some of the things that have come out of this deal in regards to Jay-Z, the NFL, Colin Kaepernick. My respect for Colin Kaepernick has even jumped higher than 10,000%. Like it was already at a high level, but it can't get any higher at this point in terms of what he has to deal with these fake ass woke black people who are on the air, have platforms, and have used their platforms to either kiss the NFL's ass, kiss Jay-Z's ass, and trash Colin Kaepernick. So and Colin Kaepernick stands strong. He continues to do what he does. He knows in his heart of heart that his NFL football career is over. But he's going to continue to do what he does. I don't care if he doesn't ever speak, because it's not about what he says. It's about his action. I guess the thing that has kind of got me angry over the past couple of days in regards to the situation is just us as black people accepting this shit, accepting this, and finding ways to allow the NFL to basically divide and conquer. Like the NFL, look at this deal. The NFL got everything it wanted. No one's talking about why Colin Kaepernick took a knee. People are talking about, number one, Jay-Z. People are talking about this deal. People are talking about what Jay-Z is going to do. Then you got a cohort of people saying, fuck Colin Kaepernick. He shouldn't be the voice, or leading the movement. Colin Kaepernick never said he was the voice, or never claimed to be Martin Luther King or any other Harriet Tubman. Shirt for the record. Never claimed to be that. He kneeled. It cost him his career. He continues to fight. Fight the great fight. I just don't understand why we can't see what the hell is going on with why can't we see what the NFL is doing? And the fact that Jay-Z is being used by the NFL. He's being used, period. Jay-Z didn't need the NFL, not 1%, to promote social justice or injustice, or to use the NFL for resources for social injustice. Jay-Z is a billionaire. Jay-Z is one of the iconic hip hop figures on the in the history of the of the world ever. The NFL doesn't need Jay-Z. NFL is a $16 billion a year corporation. What the NFL did with this deal is use Jay-Z to A, take the spotlight off Colin Kaepernick, or B, which they've accomplished both, turn people against Colin Kaepernick, preferably black people against Colin Kaepernick. And they've accomplished both of those. The NFL is absolutely laughing. Roger Goodell and company are laughing their asses off right now. They're laughing. And let's cut through all the bullshit here. Jay-Z wanted to made this deal because he wanted to be an owner. Period. He wanted NFL ownership. It's just that simple. And I think eventually he'll get it. He'll get the five. He'll get the token 3 to 5%. Is he gonna be making any serious moves as far as hiring black coaches, have that type of power, hiring black general managers, or even hell, a fucking black offensive coordinator? Because God knows we don't have enough of those in the NFL. No, it's not going to happen because the NFL is not going to allow it to happen. The NFL is a dictatorship. No one dictates to the NFL what to do. Period. No one. Not Jay-Z. Not no one. So this idea that this was a deal that was great for both parties in terms of the NFL, the black communities, social injustice, this idea that everybody won is a bunch of bullshit. No, everybody didn't win. There are two winners. No, there are two winners. The NFL won and Jay-Z won. Social injustice is not winning with this deal. It's not. And I don't understand, again, how we as black people, those people who are knocking Colin Kaepernick, don't see the fucking forest from the trees. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand you. I don't. A year ago, 2 years ago, you had Jay-Z ripping the NFL, had the Kaepernick jersey. 2 years later, he's shaking hands with Roger Goodell. Just like that. For what? 5% ownership? For what? Because don't tell me it's for social injustice, to advocate for social injustice. You don't need the NFL for that. And the NFL doesn't give a shit about black communities. If they did, Colin Kaepernick would have a job right now. Period. So I think that I think that my respect for Colin Kaepernick has skyrocketed. Um, I'm not going to be on this fuck Jay-Z tip like people on the opposite end saying fuck Colin Kaepernick. No, I listen. Jay-Z is an icon. Jay-Z, again, he's a cultural icon of hip hop. He's done plenty of great deeds as far as prison reform. He employs a number of African Americans throughout all his businesses. No, I mean Jay-Z is the American dream, coming from nothing and becoming who he is right now. He's the epitome of the American dream. But let's not make Jay-Z out to be this social activist. Let's not confuse him with Dick Gregory, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X. Let's calm. That's not even Al Sharpton, for that matter. It's not even confusing with somebody like that. When you are about the cause, when you're totally invested in the cause, in the fight for prejudice and justice, it's not pretty. It has nothing to do with money. It is grimy. It's blue collar. The people who are out there doing the work like that. Most of the names you never even heard of, because they're just doing the work. They only got a bunch of cameras. They're not doing it for likes on Instagram. None of that shit. They're just out there doing the work. I would have more respect for Jay-Z if he just came out and said, "Look, I want to own a team. This is my way of owning a team. Maybe this is my way in the NFL. This is period. I wouldn't agree with it, but at least I would get respected more. At least I would have more respect for it. But to me, even worse is us as a people, African Americans, not even seeing what the NFL is doing, how they use Jay Z. We gotta expect more. You gotta know your worth. Know your worth as an African American. Please, don't settle. Don't settle. I know we live in a capitalist country, but everything is not about money. Everything shouldn't be about money. There are more important things in life than money. I do believe in self-respect, integrity. And again, anyone thinks that Jay Z is going to become a majority owner and have power, real power, out of based off what? And the NFL is entering its 100th year. How many black owners have they had? How many black majority owners have they had? You do the math on that one. You do the math. So we are nearing again the 100th NFL season. Still, we are in week 3 of the preseason. You'll see the starters get most. This is like a dress rehearsal for the starters. Obviously, teams are trying to stay away from any major injuries. Derwin James, the great safety out of San Diego, is already going to miss a number, a couple months. That's a devastating injury for a team that has championship aspirations. Um, I mean, as far as the other things going on in the NFL, of course, the Hard Knocks, Oakland, been decent. And the Antonio Brown thing. Here's the thing about the Antonio Brown situation that I don't understand. So you've had the same helmet for the better part of the last 10 years, right? And you would think, based on Brown's reaction, filing grievances, going just berserk over his helmet, you would think that this helmet is the reason why Antonio Brown is the best receiver in football. So it has nothing to do with your hands or your route running or your understanding of the game, your work habits, practice habits, workout, year-round training. It has nothing to do with that. It has that. It's this magic helmet that allows you to make catches that no one else can make. So that's the thing that stood out to me about that situation. Like, dude, I mean, it's really in his head. This thing is really in his head. He really believes that he cannot function without this helmet. It's going like you can the easy thing to say would be calling him a diva and what have you. Selfish. Those are easy things. We already know those things about Antonio Brown. But I really believe that this has become psychological. I don't believe he feels like he can function or perform at a high level without this helmet. That's how bad this thing has gotten. So that's the funny part about this. I find funny. Like this has really been in his head. This has really been in his head. It really is. Um, Again, I don't expect him to miss any time or to do anything crazy like refuse to play regular season games if he can't use his regular helmet. But I mean, at some point, just come on, like man, just put the damn NFL helmet on and keep it moving. Like the Raiders. Yeah, I think Mike Mayock, Gruden's kind of played the good cop in this. Gruden said all the right things to kind of like appease Antonio Brown. Obviously great player, wanting to not piss him off. Mike Mayock basically was like, "Look, you either all in or you all out." And I think Mayock just had gotten it's like enough enough. The Raiders actually have some talent on that team. I'm not even going by what they've done in preseason, but the Raiders have a chance to be one of those middle of the pack teams that maybe they can sneak in the back door of the playoffs. So the Raiders have some decent players on that team. Have some nice rookie defensive players. So you get Antonio Brown. Um, we know Carr has ability. We know Carr has ability. So they could. Who knows? Maybe they can sneak in the playoffs at 9-7, what have you. This is the type of stuff you don't want to be dealing with if you're Gruden or if you're Mike Mayock. Especially your first year as the general manager of that team. I mean, this is a helmet over a helmet over a helmet. Other things going on in the NFL is Patrick Chung. It was indicted, the longtime New England Patriot safety, on a cocaine charge. He had just signed an extension that would go into 2021. Again, I don't get these guys who make it on the professional ranks in any sport and who are active. It's one thing for a guy to be retired or hit some hard times where he's not making any money anymore. He hasn't managed his money well, and then they go back to the streets. Not saying it's excusable, but you can kind of see that coming a mile away in certain cases. You're an active player coming off a team that won the Super Bowl. You're a respected player around the league, a long-time Patriot. I mean, Patrick Chung is a respected player on that team who has been a premier franchise over the course of a decade and a half. And you're not, trying to play, Nino Brown. Not even Nino Brown. Pookie. I mean, what are you doing? Are you selling it? Are you? I just don't know what. I don't know. Some of these guys, especially in the NFL, some of these guys just don't know what's going on inside their heads. Mental illness is real, definitely for real. It was definitely real. And you have a guy who I don't know how much money he's made over his career, but he's been in the league for a while now, and he's been a very good player. He's not a great player. He's been a very good player. Doing this dumb shit. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, there are certain guys who just cannot stay away from who you cannot protect, who cannot be protected from themselves. They just continuously get in their own way. No matter how much success, no matter how much money, fame, what have you, they just can't handle. Or you have guys, especially in the NFL, who cannot handle an off season. The NFL, out of all the sports, has the longest off season. Now you figure training camp, 2-a-days, season's a couple weeks away. It still doesn't matter. I mean, some of these guys need that routine of just playing every Sunday, practicing every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, walk through Saturday, things of that nature. Once they get outside that routine, they're become like idle children in a classroom. They just lose their minds. And a lot of these guys, especially in the NFL, have all types of issues, and they happen during the off season. But again, I can't make any sense of why Patrick Chung would be dealing with cocaine. It just makes zero sense to me. So that's about it as far as the NFL goes. Again, the Jay-Z NFL deal, will put anything to shame right now as far as attention goes. Like the NFL, you've heard bits and pieces about the Ezekiel Elliott, If you're the Cowboys, You sign a quarterback and move on from there and maintain your offensive line. I'm not like Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not breaking the bank for Elliott for with 2 years left on his contract. I think Dak Prescott is going to get his money. I don't think the Ezekiel Elliott is going to be. I don't think he's going to get a big contract this year. I think sounds like the Cowboys are willing to see how far they can go to play. Challenge him to a game of chicken and basically see who blinks first. Right now, the Cowboys have the leverage. Period. They have all the leverage right now. He has 2 years left on his contract. They have an above-average offensive line. They have excellent skill players at various positions. So they have the leverage right now without question. We mentioned earlier you have Power starting back on Sunday. Think about Power's been showing episodes, of course, nightly, running back season 5. They're going to start a marathon for all my Power fanatics out there on tomorrow, starting from season 1 and running through Sunday evening, of course, up until the season premiere of season 6 on Sunday night. For those of you like myself, you're not going to wait till Sunday night to watch it. 12:01 Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, you're going to be watching it on Stars on demand. This is when Stars subscriptions just absolutely skyrocket because people get Power. Power comes back. People get the Stars app. Power goes off. People unsubscribe to Stars. That's how it's been working for the better part of the last 5 years. Now, I'm definitely anticipating this season. I've tried to stay away from a lot of stuff on YouTube and reading this lot of stuff because right now there's just too many leaks. They already showed the episode 1. They had a premiere in New York on was it 2 days ago? Say Thursday the 20th. They already had a premiere. Showed season 1 or episode 1, season 6. So certainly a lot of stuff probably that's certainly going to be leaking on the internet now. Everything is accessible at this point with how much technology we have. So I've been trying to stay away from it. We have Ghost versus Tommy, and in all fairness to the writing, now listen, the thing that makes Power great is a character-driven show. It is a character-driven show. That's what makes Power special. The writing is average at best. It's not great. We know it's not great writing, especially on par with some of the classic shows that we've seen in the golden age of television. But this is what they do well, and I give Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent credit for is you cannot take your eyes off their characters, even their small big characters. They do a lot of damage. You saw the character that on the tip of Kendrick Lamar played, playing a crackhead. The schizophrenia crackhead. So they do a great job at developing characters and having you gravitate towards their characters. The one thing I will also say about Power that separates it from other shows, and again, I'm not putting Power up there as an all-time great show, but from where I think Power might be the greatest guilty pleasure show of all time. I really believe that. I was thinking about that, past couple of weeks. From where it started. Remember, this show started on a Saturday night, June of 2014. Okay. It was like, what's this? Okay, about a drug dealer, club owner. What are we talking about here? No big stars. A bunch of people that had bounced around. Couple, off-brand stars not stars, but some actors have been seen. You knew who they were, but nobody to drive a show who you thought was going to be able to drive a show. This wasn't, Omari Hardwick. Okay, I've seen him in a couple movies and what have you. The show on Mary Jane and 50 course. It was about 50 Cent and about his brand and what have you. And from where it started to where it's at right now is really remarkable. I mean, for them to be able to push their season premiere basically back 2 months, okay, almost the end of summer, a week before Labor Day, and basically willing to take on the NFL head on Sunday after Sunday, and then stretch it out to 2020. So they're going to do 10 episodes this fall and then do 5 episodes come January of 2020 and do spin-offs and what have you. Very few shows have started where they started and ended up where they ended up. Very few shows that in the history of television, to be honest with you. So again, 50 Cent, Courtney Kemp, you have to give them all the credit in the world. And again, I don't think the writing is trash. Like I thought Empire after season 2 was just horrible writing. I don't think the writing is horrible. I don't think Power's writing is bad, but it's average to say. At best, it's average. But it's all about the characters. They make you are drawn to their characters. You're absolutely drawn to their characters. And listen, 12:01 Saturday night, Sunday morning, I'll be right there on demand, watching that show. It is again the greatest guilty pleasure show of all time. I don't think there's any question about it. I wanted to get to now. I understand the NBA has calmed down. Um, has finally taken a breath in terms of movement, trades, things happening in the news. But I wanted to get to one thing that's been coming up, and I am never one to hide any critique or criticism from LeBron James if I deem it to be constructive. But the idea that LeBron James owes it to Carmelo Anthony to have him on his team, I don't understand where this is coming from. I don't understand. Like LeBron James, there's a reason why Carmelo Anthony is not on a team, on any NBA team, and it's not because of LeBron. It's not because of LeBron James. There's a reason why Carmelo Anthony is out of the league right now. So does anybody realistically believe that if LeBron James believed that Carmelo Anthony could help him get closer to a fourth ring, that Carmelo Anthony wouldn't be a Los Angeles Laker today? Because I feel like people are putting the emphasis. Yes, I am defending LeBron James as hard as it may be for anyone out there to believe that. I'm actually defending LeBron James, but I can't put Carmelo not having a job on LeBron James. This is not fair. I mean, you just can't do it. There are 29 other teams outside the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, Los Angeles Lakers are not the only team in the NBA, and 29 other teams outside the Los Angeles Lakers don't want Carmelo Anthony. Plain and pure and simple. There's no two ways about it. So I don't see how you can put that onus or emphasis on Carmelo Anthony at all. I mean, excuse me, on LeBron James. I just don't see it. College football, a couple of days away. Big matchup this week. You're going to have Miami and Florida before everybody gets into gear come the following week. If listen, college football will be defined by Alabama and Clemson and maybe Georgia to a lesser extent. But the one thing I'll be looking for in the college football season are the quarterbacks. You have 3 guys who are probably going to be, without question, top 10 picks, if not higher, in Tuga Justin Herbert, and Jake Fromm. All will be competing for a Heisman Trophy, and 3 guys that will, again, define the college football season, because everybody in the NFL, of course, is always looking for the next great quarterback. You have some older guys in the NFL who are not getting any younger, who are on their way out. Whether Eli Manning, Drew Brees, who knows how many years he has left. Phillip Rivers, there are a few guys with some years on them. Tom Brady, who knows how many years he has left. So, this class of quarterbacks coming into 2020 is going to be highly sought after. The Lawrence kid, Clemson is not going to be ready till 2021. He'll be without question the number one draft pick in the 2021 NFL draft. But these three guys, Tuga Valuva, Herbert, and Fromm, are guys to watch in regards to college football. Um, because we already know from a team standpoint, in regards to the teams, who's who and who is at the top of the food chain, and it has not changed. You have Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. Those teams will be legit. We'll see if Florida State can bounce back from just a horrible year. Too much talent not to bounce back. We'll see. But this is going to be a quarterback dominated season in regards to the NFL. So we'll see how that turns out as we get ready for not the NFL in regards to the college football season. But again, 24th you have Florida and Miami. Then everything gets into gear. Um, Everything will get into gear come next week. So we'll see. College football again. Football is obviously here. NFL still a couple of weeks away. Last preseason dress rehearsal for the players this Thursday through Saturday. You have a number. You have Power coming back on Sunday. You have a situation where, again, one of the great come-ups of any show in television history that Power went through. As far as hip hop goes, tomorrow Jeezy coming out, Rhapsody's coming out. Rhapsody to me is by far, it's not even close, by far the best female rapper out there. A lot of people consider her to be top five lyricists right now. I would have to think about that more, but looking forward to her follow up album. Jeezy coming out, Raphael Sadiq is coming out tomorrow. So a big Friday of music in regards to releases tomorrow. Again, I told you, I don't know if I said on my last podcast. Did it come out last week or two? Yeah, I think it came out last week. I love the new Snoop album. I love it. Even like it's 29 listens, it's 22 tracks. You could probably toss away about 4 or 5 of them, but out of 22 tracks, it was probably 15 to 16 that are strong. Again, when you've been around that long, you don't forget how to rap. I don't care how much money you made. I don't care how many other endeavors you've been involved with. Again, the production is crazy in the album. Snoop always had that silky melodic flow that hasn't went away. But again, I strongly recommend that album, especially if you're over the age of 35. If you're over the age of 35, is definitely an album for the old heads. In regards to the story, and the reason why I didn't do a podcast on Tuesday. So Tuesday, we've been one of the hottest summers in recent memory, the hottest July maybe I think ever on record around the country. We got a couple of weeks of relief, and this past couple of weeks in August, especially this week, has been ridiculous. So it's already hot, 95 degrees, 94, 95 degrees. I get caught up in one of the worst thunderstorms that I've ever seen in person. On the metro, get basically put off 2 metro trains because because of the storm. You get outside again, well protected as far as I didn't feel like I was ever going to get struck by lightning. But again, it's windy. The wind is gusting about 70 miles, 50, 70, 80 miles an hour. Rain all over the place. People screaming on the metro, being extra. Shout out to the Green Line, but I'm just waiting for the next train. And about the time I got home, it was a wrap. At that point, I was mentally checked out. You didn't want to hear me on the podcast on Tuesday. It would have been some shit. So, and then what did I watch? I ended up just laying down. I ended up going to sleep. I went to sleep. I had nothing left. It was nothing left in the tank. on Tuesday. So I apologize for not doing the podcast on Tuesday. If you were expecting it Monday or Tuesday, normally I do it on either on Monday or Tuesday. So, but again, it was on, and the rainstorm, the thunderstorm was only like an hour. So it rained hard for like an hour. Not raining, thunderstorm, rain, wind, like a monsoon out there. But luckily got home safe. Thankfully got home safe and just went to bed. You know, not 25 anymore, folks. Not I ain't 17, not 21. Them days are gone. Them days are over. So got some good sleep. We're here now on this on this Thursday, on one of our rare Thursday podcasts. You will be hearing from me soon. We have some. I have some couple things lined up for this podcast in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. And the next time we do this podcast, it will be the season 12 premiere of the Ril Dil Podcast. The shirt is already in. I'll be wearing it tomorrow. So thank you for all your support over these last 11 years, now soon to be 12 years. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil Podcast. As always, this is the Ril Dil Podcast, keeping it real with no apologies. I'm out.